All right. Hello, one. Hello, all. It is Badge of Wild, and we are back with a Space Engineers live stream. That's right. We are sitting back here doing 2.6 to the Missile Destroyer. If everything will load up here. And there we go. So, anyway, folks, today we're back to the Missile Destroyer. It was going to take some time to build this, but it is actually going together much faster than I anticipated. And there are some things I'm wanting to manipulate in here to try and make this a little bit better a ship than what we really have at the moment. So I just want to do a few things. We do have a near universal coupling right here that's working. I'm going to have to surround this section here. And I'm afraid I'm at a point where we're going to have to start skinning stuff in order to make the ship work because we need to start skinning up things. I need to put both these vehicles into the workshop as well. I need to take this one and I need to color it, and this one needs to go into the workshop as well as a worker bee. And they both can fit through this little narrow gap right in here. They're both about the same size as well, so I mean it's not too hard to get them through this little maintenance hatch here. But we have these other issues. We are going to have to rework this entire section, kind of bring this part up, figure out how to make that work. I also, like I said, I'm also planning on doing a drop hangar system where we can just hold a couple of good ships. And that's where a couple of F302s are going to come into play. So we're going to be able to just simply drop a group of F302s, just bring them right about. Oh, do we not have? And we'll have a set, like I said, we'll just have us a set of F302s in the destroyer. We're just going to get up nice and close here, like so. And that's kind of how it's going to work, but they're going to go a little bit further up. Looking at this, it looks like it's probably going to. Okay, come now. We've got the power to stop this thing from moving. Let's stop. From the looks of things, I could probably lock maybe three of these jokers in there, which would be a kind of an awesome deal if I could put three in there. We'll have to figure out how the bay is going to have to work with these, and then still figure out how I'm also going to be able to set in the missile launch system because we are going to need a series of missiles to fire out of here as well. And I want to set this thing up to as many missiles as we can launch. So I came up with the idea of launching missiles vertically, which seems like it'd be a pretty good idea. Also, with the connection point here, I may be able to do some really fancy stepping work for the destroyer, as well as be able to pull it back. I do want to set a set of ion engines on either side of this to supplement the power of the hydrogen thrusters, so we can have some ion, it's like long range ion thrusters, which will really help out. And then I've got something special. I'm actually going to do this in game right here. Let's go ahead and do this. Where is? There's a neat little trick I figured out, and I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to break out the text panel here, and I'm going to add. Where is he? this one. Put that there. And we're going to add that. And we're just going to do this all around this here. Because I want this to look like it's actually part of the ship's reactor core. So we got to make this look like it's going to be in the reactor core a little bit. No. Nope. Hope I didn't delete something important right there. All right. It doesn't look like anything important has been deleted. And you see right here, we have this a series of screens back here. Now, what I'm going to do, just for this nonsense here, because it's going to be freaking crazy when I find these. Looking through here, I should find LCD screen, LCD panel right there and there. We've got all those. So we do text and images. And the background, we're going to just really push the bright green. If that works. Okay, we've got that font size, color. We're going to just run that back down to there. Where's the screen? This screen here. Let's see if we can dull that down just a tad. I don't think I put it. Oh, I didn't put an LCD screen up over there. But you see kind of what I'm going for here. See, that is kind of different. That's kind of different right there. And you can see it inside the ship. I may make those bright green. I don't know. That might be the best way to do it. Okay, let's select that and this. Okay, we'll set all this to text and images. Set that to green, and we'll do a bright green there. We'll set that to bright. So now, walking by this stuff, you walk up over to it, you'll see this green kind of coloring in the back. This one set of LCD screens are just going to give me a fit. Let's see. I can access them. No, I can't. Can I access them? Yeah, I can. Here we go. No content, text images. And then we're going to check that into green there. And nope, not like that. We're going to go K. Text and images. To shut that down. Jack that all the way up. So now we got this weird looking. I don't know. I don't know. Do I need the top one or will just the back one work to give it that weird nuclear look to it? We'll leave that there. If I decide I don't want it, I will take it out. But it's a nifty little idea right there to make this look, green. So we got that going on. I can't use something like the LCDs or lights or anything like that. That's just the best we're going to be able to do with. So here we're going to have to pull this section around and start tying some of this conveying. So this is the first area, which is the mess hall. We've done this already. And we've got the one room in here ready to go. Just fill that up. We've got tanks, areas that we can, MRI machine, all that good stuff. This is not doesn't need a whole bunch of stuff, but it's got all this nice stuff anyway. So we have that going. We also, let's see if I put a vent in here. Did I put an air vent in here? No, I did not. We need an air vent in here. Okay, we'll have to put an air vent here. Let's do that. We need an air vent. Where is number 4? First off, we're going to start running conveyor. So there's our next conveyor. And then where is my vents? Number 1. Yeah, this will be the best one because it's going to have to be on the floor, obviously. Which I can hide this if I want to by just putting a grate over the top of it, and that'll pretty much do the job. So it's not something that's too difficult. And now we have this going. Which the way a lot of this is going to be coming together, we'll probably pull this in. And then I've got to, where's my missile? I need a missile. Let's, there we go. We have the missile. Now here's the kicker. I want to do a missile silo like this. So I can build them inside of this little deal here. So it should fit, and it should be built in this. It should have no problems getting built in there. So that should not be a difficult thing to do. The question, though, is how much of this can I put on here? That's the kicker. Let's see. We start to here. Unable to place. Awesome. 1, 2, 3. Now it should take about 3 points. So we've got 3 sections here to put the missile into, and it will, from the looks of it, it's going to fit perfectly. It's going to fit just snugly in there. If I've got a set of welders, I know at least one welder should be enough, but I think I can probably install like 2 welders or maybe just one, and that should be enough to set that in. Now, here's the other thing. One of these blocks here, this one here, can be a door to the outside. And that means we have a silo system for ship. That also means that thanks to this system here with the one things, I can make the missile take off. I can also make it spin and go into, I think I can make it spin. And I want to look at something here. We may be up a creek without a paddle because I'm wondering, yeah, I've got 2 automation timer blocks on this. We do not have an event controller. And what we need is an event controller. Because now looking at this thing, I realize that the missile doesn't need a whole bunch of other bull crap to work with. It doesn't need 2 timer blocks. It needs a timer and a event controller, which is interesting. Because what that means is once we initiate launch of the missile, it will fly out of the tube. The missile is going to fly out of the tube. I need to modify the missile here. Get up here. We need to modify this because what I need is an event controller. All right, where is one of our timer blocks at? Time to do some surgery on a missile. That's a battery. That's part of the AI. Oh, it's one of these. Well, looks like we're getting rid of the sound block for the moment. And we're going to install a event controller here. And I'm going to use number 7 here to patch up the missile. We're going to copy that again. Patch that part of the missile. We may add the one thing in front. I may not. I don't know. I don't know. I think a light bulb in the front blinking as it's coming at you would be a better option. Maybe, maybe not. But with an event controller, I can have the system, and we'll have to build the system to make this work. Probably need to prototype this missile system. But the way this will work is when we activate one of the uh, one of the sensors is going to detect um, that we're in something. The other sensor is going to detect down to here, and it's going to cause the missile to flip. We're going to do a gyroscopic override while the main thruster is overriding. And when it hits a specific point, that's going to hit the timer block on this thing. Now, the event controller will take effect once it detects that rotation. Once it detects a 90-degree rotation forward, or in whichever direction the missile is going to go, um, it is going to turn off the rotation, stabilize the entire missile. Then it is going to, while it's firing the missile, it's going to detect it, engage the auto shot, and then activate the timer for about 10 seconds. So this thing is going to boost to full speed for about 10 seconds. When the 10 seconds is up, the thrust override is going to disengage and the AI on the missile is going to engage, which will then cause it to, which means not only can we launch missiles from the destroyer over here, but we'll be able to launch them at almost a near infinite range. Meaning this is going to be the best primary weapon you can acquire in the game. We're going to have a missile that I can fire from ship that will, like I said, it'll pop off like a regular missile, turn 90 degrees, high boost for about 10 seconds, and then it'll disengage everything and fly right towards the target. And that's all we need this to do. So before we do this, we need to go over to the one deal, and I need to first off, I need to copy this. And we need to head over here to the asteroid real quick. I really need to build a facility to test all this crap with. I put that. Wait, nope, that's not what I need. Yeah, that's what I need. So here we go. We're going to build a silo over here. And this is going to be the missile we're going to use. I may modify the current missile so that we can actually have something that'll work like this. And then this missile I'm going to delete because I've already got a version of it. Let's just build an external system here. I'm going to build this out. Okay. So to run the missile system the way it needs to be run, we are going to need several things. Number one, I am going to need to shift between large block and small block. And I don't have rotors equipped. Really? Huh. Well, that's going in G, I guess. Let's take a look-see here. There we are. All right, there we go. Now, what this is going to do, going to do the advanced rotor, obviously, for obvious reasons. And I'm going to delete that off the advanced rotor. We are then going to put something here. And if I recall, I think all we're going to need for welders. Let me look here. I think we're only going to need one welder. Like that. That's all we're going to need. I can then turn this welder on. And then we can access some other stuff going in. Now, well, we've built this backwards to an extent. I need to put this on the other side. We'll make it work with this. We'll make it work. We'll do that. And then the next thing I need is a corridor block because we need to figure out 9, 2, and then we'll just consider this top part of it a door. We'll find a door to put in there. A good one. Oh, where's it at? Let's see here. Where's the doors? Let's do... Yeah, let's do this bad boy. There. And we have a very baseline missile silo. So that's our silo. Let's go to our advanced rotor. Oh, you can add medium rotor heads now. That's nice. Add small rotor head. We're going to do that. Because what I have to do is I have to build this up to about the midpoint so I can install, and I can probably do this with a single I can probably install this with a very singular system. So it won't affect too much. Let's see. Where is our small conveyors? Small conveyors. Where did you go? I do not see them. Where are they at? Come on. Surely I've got... Well, okay, look. I've got 2 of these. We can put some small conveyors here. Where's our small conveyors? Come on, baby. Where you at? There we go. Nice. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring this up a bit. Because we got to see how... Okay, I might have gone too far. All right, let's see. How many blocks do we have before the first connector? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we got to go 6 blocks up, at least, from the ground floor. So if I start from here, will that give me... Oh, that's actually pretty low. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right here. Okay, look at that. So what we need next is a corner block. That's what we need. And then we need to go back to this. 2. Come on. Let's just open that door up here. Hop down into the silo. There we are. And I don't know if that's inside or not. No, it's not. But that'll be inside. So, okay, we got that. Let's go over here to number 8. And we're going to slap in this small conveyor, small connector here. And then I need a merge block, which I've got one here somewhere. There we are. Number 9. There we are. Small merge block. And that should be set up exactly how the actual missile is set up. So yeah, that's how the missile is set. So this is going to be fun. What's going to have to happen is when the missile launches, we're going to need it to detect, number one, detect that it has something in front of it. So it's got to detect this subgrid. Once that happens, we'll have a secondary detector pushing off the back here very narrowly, pretty far, so that once it is cleared from the silo, it will then not detect anything. And that will activate the override on the gyroscope, which will cause it to tip in the direction I want it to tip into. Once that happens, the missile will then, or well, what will happen is the event controller will detect the tilt of the missile. And once that is detected, it will stop the tilt and fire thrust override, which then, and also activate the timer block. As that is activating, the missile will go into this direction here. And once it reaches that direction, it will simply hit whatever's out there and it will take it the F out. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how the missile system should work. At least that's how I think it should. Now, looking out here, I think we got rid of the Providence. So let's bring something else in. Bring something nice in. Let's bring in like a, we'll bring in something from Star Trek. That'll work. Let's see here. What do we got here? Let's see. What do we want to take target shots at? Let's deal with this. This is a good one. Plus, if I place this out here a certain way, we'll actually get a good idea of what the damage rate's going to be as it slams into this thing. Get some distance out here. So I also have a good range to test by. Let's go ahead and hit B here. And we'll set this thing broadside. Okay, we have an Excelsior class that we're working with. Looking around here, we've got plenty of small firepower. So it's got some smaller guns on it, which honestly should be helpful. That is a cool effect right there. I'm going to have to figure out how to do that. We'll go from here. Grab this real quick. No, not like that. Let me grab this. Let's turn on everything that we need. We'll zip on down here. It's for ownership. Space Pirates. There we go. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. That's exactly what we want it to do. We want it to get mad, but we don't want it to turn against. We don't want it to go taking off. So this is going to be our test fire unit. And we're going to get to really see what these missiles can do. I'm going to fire up one, set it in, see if we can get the missile to turn into a target like we've been wanting to. Because that is ultimately what's going to make the decision here on whether or not this thing works properly. Let me see. Here we go. There's our missile. There's our launcher. And where's the Excelsior at? Our target seems to have disappeared. Did it? Ah, there it is. It's just far enough out there. It's not registering with us. Is that what's going on? Yeah, it's blipping out for some reason. I may have too much stuff in the. We may have too many things out here. Let's go ahead and get rid of the triple R antenna here. And the fact that thing probably doesn't have an antenna on it either means I won't be able to really detect it. But we'll go ahead and get rid of those F302s right there. Maybe that'll make things work a little bit easier. Maybe. I'll probably back up here and it probably won't do a darn bit of good. It'll probably blip out here in a second. Time to de-render. Well, that seems to have solved. Nope, there it goes. It de-rendered. Oh, well. It'll be a great test of the missile. We'll be able to see just how well it goes. Because the target is out there. I don't know how far away it is. That's a difficult thing to have to deal with. So first off, we've got to figure out how this thing is going to operate. Okay, so let's grab this first sensor here. We know what we got to do. Let's grab the first sensor. Info. Let's look at sensor field range. Now back to control panel. Okay, I can see the extension. Let's there we go. That's good. That's good. That's good. So we've got that. There, let me look. Okay, yeah. That'll work great because that will be our detection unit. And what I'm going to want this to do, set up actions. Over, that's not the right one. I guarantee it. Okay, we're going to have to do the grinder trick here, where I grind this down. And I'm going to rename this from 5 to forward. That'll help us a lot. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to hit the main deal. That's going to detect a grid, and I'll set this to detect grid is what it's going to do. So let's see. We don't want it to turn that on. Remove that from toolbar. We want this hydrogen thruster to go up and set override percentage to 100. Whoop, let's not go to 1,000. That'd be cool if we go to 1,000. Set label. Override to 1,000. That should do it. Now here's the next thing. This thing's going to set to override. We're just going to leave that as it is. Now, what I can also do is this. We'll go ahead and go here because we need the battery to come on as well. So small battery is going to come on. We're going to recharge off. So once that happens, this will activate recharge and it will also activate. This will turn off the recharge mode of the battery, which is going to be set in recharge mode, whether we want to or not. It'll turn off recharge mode. So then that there, once I hit the disconnection port for both of these, that should disconnect, and the first thing that should happen is this missile should fly right out of there. So we're going to try to detect the system in stages. So let's see if we can even connect this thing up here. Oh, it will not go in. What in the world is going on here? Why do we have this problem? Oh, it's going to be like that. You're going to be like that, huh, game? Okay, okay. All right. Do I need to take this just a tad bit deeper, maybe? Let's do that. Let's take this a little bit deeper. Now, I was trying to be reasonable with this. It appears it doesn't want to be reasonable. Okay, let's, number 9, just like so. Now, let's see what happens when I pull out the big missile this time. That's a pain in the butt. So apparently, it's not going to let me do the missile in the silo trick. Though I don't know why. Let's see if we can get this thing to launch first. Okay, let's just go ahead here. We need to make sure we can launch a missile off this thing. First, full stop. Okay, that should do it there. There we go. Now, I need a button here. Where's my buttons? Button, button, button. We're going to put a big red button out here. Hold up. Let's look here and see. Nope, 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 nope. Let's go over here. We need to figure out what is oh, they're both on a frickin' grid. What the heck? Well, let's go ahead and we'll add a there. Now with that, we're going to say this is merge block 2. That's what I'm going to say because I can't seem to find the frickin' merge block on there. So we'll say that's merge block 2. And hopefully, we'll say toggle block on and off. Now let's see what happens when we hit this. Apparently, nothing because I've done something wrong. Okay, the missile was working. It just didn't. All right, let's go grab the missile again. May have to make a square because I can't figure out why it's not working like it's supposed to. Okay, so let's fly over here. Do this again. All right, set that up. So apparently I did something. I didn't activate something. So what is going to happen here? Set up actions. Oh, I know what I did wrong. That's not the only thing I have to do here. Go to 3 because there's one more thing that has to activate for this thing to work. Small hydrogen tank. The stockpile has to turn off. There we go. All right, here we go. We're going to try this again. Launching missile. There it goes. Okay, so stage 1 of the missile launch is successful. Okay, we have lost that missile. We're not getting that back. So what we've got going on here right now, we know what we got to do. I'll walk over here to the sensor. We've got to set up actions again. Number 3. And I need to take the small hydrogen tank. Turn stockpile off. Okay. That has worked well. Now, because the missile is turning to the target, I need to, let's copy this missile again because I want to do something. All right. Let's see. I think it's y'all. And oh, he's outside of range. That's cool. We'll just get inside of his range here. Now then, battery. Battery's okay. Battery's on. Let's go ahead and turn the. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Take that back to 0. Okay, that is rotating just like I want it to. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use the automation timer block because I need to, let's set up actions, grab the gyroscope here, and I want it to, what was it, roll? And let's remove some stuff. So we're going to have to reprogram this entire thing while we're at it. Okay, do that and trigger now. Oh, turn off override controls. Let's try this again. Let's do this. We'll put on override controls on. Go to the gyroscope here. Turn that back on. Turn that on. Okay, so that should do it. And then trigger now. There we go. Okay, so the missile's turning. This is gonna be fun because now the override is just really out there. So the reason why we're doing this on timer block, some people are sitting there wondering, Badger, you got like one timer block. Why are we doing this? Why are we making the missile turn like this? And part of the reason is we need the missile to rotate in air. So we're trying to build a missile that when it comes out, it will rotate after about 10 seconds. It'll rotate up. And then the event controller will stop it in time. So now to the gyroscope. And let's go ahead here. Let's get it enough turn going. That will turn. I don't know how this is going to work. We may have to come up. We may be stuck with a single line of missiles shooting at the top, and I may have to build each missile individually. I don't know. I'm hoping I can get away with like one big system. That'd be nice. But okay, let's see. We need the missile to turn first. So let's go back. Let's go back. We know how to make the missile turn, and we know how the missile is going in here. The missile is going to have to go in like this, like so. So let's go ahead and oh, oh, let's pop in a missile. And why are you not connecting? Oh, I grabbed it too high. That's why. There we go. Okay, so we know the missile will launch. That's that's not an issue. What we don't know. Oh, come now. Why won't you connect? Oh, wait, I know why I won't connect. There. Need that button pushed again. Now, we've done the sensor on this side. We need this sensor. So, let's see. How far away am I going to make this sensor work? Let's go here. Automation sensor. Let's look here. This is not going anywhere, so let's see. That's the back. That's the top. Okay, let's extend this top a bit here so I can see what I'm doing. Nope, not that one. Let's go ahead and extend this down to 11, 12, about 20 meters. Let's do that. Okay, and what this is going to do is the gyroscope is going to receive override controls are going to turn on. Oh, this could be bad. Because I just realized when I fire this missile, it's going to start turning at high speed. Hopefully, we do not hit something with this thing. Let's hope we don't hit nothing. That's going to be bad if this thing decides to start turning. Okay. So now let's turn off the battery. I should be able to do this with the system disabled. And let's take the override to about 2. And then that will engage. Okay. Turn off override. And then turn the batteries back on. One more thing. I've got to set this. Uh, let's see. That's going to be detecting things. Oh, that's an issue. That is an issue because unless the sensor, oh wait, I know what I can do. Will trigger when no longer detecting. So here's what we'll do. We'll turn that off there, and we can actually set this up to engage override controls on when we no longer detect something. So we'll do that. And then we just need to then have the timer block engage. But we'll see how this first part goes. Okay. And fire. Missiles away. Override did not take effect. All right. Missile took off. We did not get what I wanted to do. What I wanted to happen did not happen. Put it like that. Nothing went right just now. The missile did not turn like it was supposed to. Okay. Let's do this again. Once it gets away, this thing should have activated. Ah, I bet I did not toggle the block on. If that's the case, that's probably the reason why we ran into a problem. We'll put this to about 300. We'll turn the override controls off. Let's look at sensor 2. The setup actions. Number 2, auto. Number 3, auto. Number 4, it's got to turn on the gyroscope. So let's go ahead and have the gyro turned on. Toggle block on. Right now it's off. That should solve the problem with that. Now, automation sensor number 2. We're going to put this here. We're going to turn on override once it detects. Now that should do it. We're gonna find out. This is why you stop in the middle of builds and try to test some stuff out. And fire. Missiles away. Missiles turning. Yes, missiles doing exactly what I wanted to do. Missile may go into orbit around the asteroid. If it doesn't strike something. Okay. What did we put that at? 20 meters? That seemed like a pretty good distance. There's the 20-meter mark. All right. First off, how did we do this? It was the right, I believe. No, that's not it. We'll extend this up to about 24 meters. We'll do that. It's got a sensor for 24 meters. Setup actions. Does not detect. Then you will turn on override controls will turn on. Okay. Then I think what I got to do is the gyroscope. We have gyroscope off. We're going to go to a roll override of 3 that'll cause the missile to turn. And turn off override controls. At the same time, automation sensor number 2 needs to have number 4, which activates the gyroscope, which then turns it on. So there we go. Now that that's done, we've got to figure out. Now that that's done, I've got to figure out how to get the event controller to activate a series of steps. So number 1, we need the missile to turn. And we've kind of got the missiles doing that now. Let's go ahead and copy the work we got done right now. This is why creative is so handy. Oh, yeah. I remember to turn this thing back on because that's just not going to help us if we don't do that. And here we are. We have our new missile set up. Once I fire this thing, it's going to go sailing off into space and then it's going to turn. What we want to do now is I want to go to the event controller. And I've never actually done this, but we're going to see how this works. Event. Angle changed. Oh. Oh. Hmm. Equal or greater than. We're going to say it changes. Let's go to about a 45. Right there, 45. Select actions. Once this happens, the override controls are going to turn off. And then, let's see what else. We can then take automation timer block, and that will start. And that'll give us everything else will then start activating at that point. So we already know we can fire the missile. Everything will activate just like it's supposed to. Everything's basically activated except for this, the AI flight move and the target selection blocks, which will have to go into the other deal. Now, if I go into automation timer block, let's set this up. The delay is going to be, let's do 10 seconds. Setup actions. Okay, we've got arm. We're going to remove this and remove that. And this should be the only two things that we need to have activate. This time I'm going to attempt to follow it. Okay. Let's hope this works. God dang event controller did not do what I needed to do. Oh, that's, huh. Okay, well, something did not go right. That's bad. Something didn't go right. Let's see. Let me see. Okay. Got all that. Event controller. Let's go here. Okay. Angle changed. Equal or greater than 45. And then the selected action is going to be override controls are going to turn off, which is what should have happened. Then, number 2, our automation timer block should start. Okay, so all this is done. There's no available blocks here that we can work with. If I gate that, that should do it. I don't know why it wouldn't do it, but we've got basically everything pretty well set up. Let's try this one more time, since I've got everything kind of set up now. We already know this thing will turn. No, I turned off this stupid thing yet again. Okay. Booyah. Okay. So let's lock on here. Z. And thrust. And let's just take off. System turns. Disable. Disable. We're not thrust override. We're not disabling the override. Okay, that is weird. All right, what's happening here? Why is it? Okay, automation event controller. Why is it that you are not? Can't be it. Let's look here. Hmm. This is dumb because I've got angle change on here. The select action that should happen is it should. It's going to activate the timer block. What have I got this thing doing here? Okay, gyroscope override controls should turn off. So that should turn off the override controls. I know the override controls are happening right when it needs to get on there. We have a roller. Seems like the angular momentum takes over. That may be the thing. Mr. Campbell's soup here trying to help us with the missile here, and he's got a point. Seems like the angular momentum takes over. It's that, but what's getting me is this thing is not turning off, and it's on true. And we've got this, maybe it's the wrong angle. Let's try, what is the difference between 45 on this? Let's do negative 45. Negative 46. Let's try that. See what this does. Maybe I had it at the wrong angle. Maybe I'm sending it the wrong direction. I'm just going to troubleshoot some stuff here. Let's see. There we go. Missile armed. And we're going to lock our inertial dampener to that. And let's fire it away. All right, let's go over here. Still turning. Thrust override is not disengaging. That's the problem here. It's not that because I'm looking at it. The thrust override is not disengaging. That's the problem. Even though I've got this thing set to disable and do that. Everything else is working. Except the automation, except the event controller. Except the event controller. Why is it not working? Turn that off. Okay. Uh, hmm. Well, the event controller is not working. Fortunately, we have a timer block. And I think that's what I'm going to have to do for now. So let's go into select actions. Let's take all this out. Just to make sure. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to do automation timer block. And we're going to figure out the delay. We're going to set up actions for right now. So these are the actions that should happen. Oh, wait. Wait a minute. I just saw this. Ah. I wonder. Hold up. May just see what the problem is. No. Ah, shucks. Okay. I'm gonna go back here. We're gonna do the window because I think what is happening. Now, all right, go back to event controller. We'll set the threshold back to 45. That doesn't make sense though, because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll do this first. Just like so. And then the automation timer blocks. I just saw this here. There's a button here to turn that on. And we'll disable all that stuff. Have all that ready to go. Now let's see if this doesn't help because I won't activate the timer block just yet. Copy this bad boy. Fly over here. And juke. Set that there. Now let's go ahead and lock ourselves onto the missile. And let's see if this doesn't help. Come on. Nope. Gyroscope is on. Hmm. It's not working for some reason. So it's not the thrust. What's going on is it's not detecting an angle change. I don't know. Oh, ah. I bet I need some type of rotor or hinge to detect that angle change. I bet you it's for a hinge. Okay. Well, we have to do this the odd way, and that is the event controller, because I think I'm correct, and I probably am. I'll disable that. Now, how are we going to achieve this? It's very simple. We're going to set up actions here. All this stuff is going to arm. And what I'm also going to do, I'm going to grab gyroscope here, and we're going to tell this to override control off. And then at the same time, override hydrogen thruster. Oh, this creates a problem in its own right. Well, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Because if the thruster is at full max, the other problem I got to worry about is I got to worry about this thing like running through hydrogen, and I think it's got enough hydrogen to get through it. So we'll do that. Now, what we're going to do here, I'm going to put the delay at about 6 seconds. And then automation sensor 2 here, which once it ceases to detect things, it's going to start doing this one thing. We're going to have it start the timer block for its 6 second delay. And that should give us control over the missile. Should. Okay, let's add a new missile to the system. Booyah, missile is locked. Okay, we're just going to set our inertial dampener. Say that. Let's see how this goes. Okay, that did it. We're officially stopped. Problem is, wait, is this going to take off that direction? I don't know if it's going to turn into the target, but we needed to engage that at a couple more seconds more. So let's cut that in half and see what that does. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. We can do that. Okay, so let's go back over here and go into automation timer block. We're going to set this to 3 this time. There we go. And we're on the path of getting this missile working. Come on now. Oh, yeah. Thanks to put a timer block on here, it's going to turn that thing on after so many seconds. All right. Lock our inertial dampener. We can stay with the missile and engage. Three. All right, we're way up here. We're flying high, maybe 4 seconds. There's the target down there. Whether or not the system will detect it is a whole nother thing. Let's back away from the missile a bit, see if it detects. It is not detecting. Well, nope. Nope. Missile has detected. Missile says F you. Yes. Yes. Missile says we have detected a target. We're going to kill it. That's what I want to see. Here we go. We have locked in at 2,000 meters. It just got in range of the target. We're about to see what this system can do. It's trying to kill it. It's trying to kill it. Oh, wow. Those things actually did stop it. Okay, that's annoying. One good thing, though, even with this kind of defensive system, we're going to delete a few of these so I can... Oh, stop. Should have turned off the guns. That's what I should have done. Should have turned off the... Yeep, and there's more of them. Let's turn these off here. Or stop them, at least. Okay, there we go. All right. And there should be no defenses this time. Now let's go back here. Missile's not entirely perfect. That was so awesome. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Campbell Soup. That was awesome. Because fired that sucker off and it turned. And it did exactly what I wanted, but it just didn't turn at what I think is the right time. So we're going to put to a 4-second counter. See if that gets the angle I want. And we're going to follow it in here. Let's go ahead. Now all we got to do is we just got to mess with the timer block. And like I said, with the thrust override, this thing is just saying, yeah, F it, we're going in. Now, the one problem I have with this particular setup, well, actually, no. With this particular setup, I could go back to the original missile, input all the settings into it like it was before. And when this thing takes off, it will do the same thing, but I'll actually just have the system in place to make it work. Okay, so we know the target is off that direction. Let me hit that button. Let's load the missile. There we go. No, we have a target. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to sit here just like this. Let me activate my thruster pack here. Do that. That. And I'm going to pull back. We're going to see about the right. Yes, that's almost entirely level. Great. That's cool. Okay, now let's just see how this thing operates. My big fear is I'm going to end up targeting something I didn't intend on targeting before. Oh, it seems like thrust override got turned off. Oh, we're about to see the missile hit, so let's pull back a bit here. We're going to see that impact just perfectly. What are we targeting, Mr. Missile? What are we targeting? Warheads are armed. Oh, jeez. Yep, they're mad. So that hit. I think a lot of this hole was still here. At least I think it was. It seems to be targeting engines. So there's that missile. I think the other one was just sheer impact. So we still had the exact effect. I thought the other one blew up entirely. I guess not. There must have been enough. I guess the hydrogen tank must have been the one thing that actually managed to hit something. So, yeah, the missile is basically done. Um, yeah, now the only thing we got to do is get the ship to. We've got to come up with a series of launch systems and figure out how to load these missiles up so where they will load up and fire, which could mean a lot of subgrids or one regular subgrid. The problem that I'm running into now we've got to see if we can print and fire. That's the new kicker. So let me pull this over here. And I got to see what type of print system we're going to do. Pirate drone searching. Yeah. Pirate drone, if you want to come over here and start something, I'm more than willing to do that. We more than happily have the weaponry to get it done. So first things first, let's go ahead and find a projector here. Projector. Where's that at? I know I got one on the toolbar here somewhere. Come on. Do I not have one on the toolbar? Apparently not. Let's grab a projector. Make sure we got everything we need. Okay, that's a decoy. Here we go. Projector. There we are. There. Now they got the projector working. Let's go ahead and we'll blueprint this real quick. All right. Rename. We'll do that ship missile Mark 1 so I know where that's at. Okay. Now let's go over here. Back to our handy dandy little ship system here. And we'll go into the back up here so I can see what I'm doing. Go to the projector, blueprints. Nope, that didn't work. Okay, now let's make this thing only buildable. Keep the projection. No, we'll do that. Let's see, horizontal. No, I don't want to do that. Let's pitch here. That's not going to help me yet. All that, baby. Okay, that's going up. This to go the other way. There we go. Right there, 90 degrees. Okay, we're exactly almost where we need to be. It's going up. Let's bring it right there. And then I want to bring it out like so. Nope, we got to bring it out just a bit more. There. Now we got to see if See if that turns that on. Toggle block on off. Okay. Okay, it's on, but it's not welding up like we want it to. Okay. Can't weld this thing up if I can't access it. So we're going to have to figure out a design change here. Let me see something. I think it has to do with the way the welder was set up. So set up like that last time. Let's set up like this. Control panel and on. Still nothing. It is not detecting. Okay, so we're going to have to figure out how to set up a welding system. This means that is not able to weld up. This means I'm going to have to install a specialized welding system to weld all this up. Tonight, the only thing we may get done is the missile system. This may be the only thing I get done on the stream, but we did this last time. This is going a lot smoother than the F-302's missile system because we're using the same exact Mako. It's the same thing. It's the Mako Mark II. We're just using a reconfigured variation of the Mako. So with the system that we've got currently in place, the Mako pretty much right now we've managed to manipulate the Mako in several ways, so we can do different stuff with it. So pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's drop one here, and let's see what that welds up. No, wait, nope. Let's flip that while we're at it. Okay, we welded something up. All right, let's flip this the other way and see if that doesn't help. That did absolutely nothing. All right. I believe I only needed 2 of these, but we're about to find out if that's necessary or not. I think I need 3. And this is going to be interesting if I need 3, because if I need 3 of these things to weld this joker up, that's going to be an issue. Let's do that. How much did it get welded? Okay, we didn't get everything. Frick. So we are going to need minimum to launch a missile. We're going to need 2 on each side. And this creates other issues because come now, I can't believe this thing. Okay, let's see here. What are we missing on the Mako? Okay, got almost everything but this top piece here. That sucks. But I should be able to launch this thing. So let's go ahead. Let's sit down here. We're going to launch. Two. And 3. Now I can see one missile there. I can't see the other one. And I see it shooting off into the distance. There's another one right there. It's moving in. Here's the second one coming in. So about this moment, we're going to be turning into that target real quick. Two impacts. Yeah, it's ripping holes in it now. That's a decent amount of damage for a missile coming at you. Okay, so this is going to create some issues here. I got to find my asteroid now. It's hiding in the sun. Mr. Campbell Soup might be able to just get away with one block up. No, I'm going for a full blast of them. Darn, the speed, holy moly, it welds them up so fast. Yeah, it will because it's creative. Creative welds up really quickly. In the one deal, I probably will have about 2/3 of that speed. So yeah, it'll weld up quick, but I'll have about 2/3 of the speed going at it. This also means we can launch a missile at about a certain point. The missile is going to turn and it's going to be like, yep, okay, you're dead. So the missile's doing what it's supposed to do. The kicker here is this is the difficult part. And I think I know how I can do this. Because what we're going to have to do with the destroyers, we're going to have to launch these things. We'll need welders on both sides. The welder will weld up to a certain point. What I can do is probably run this system through the bottom and connect it to a series of connectors on both sides and have that piping up through the system. And then we can have welders on both ends, just two. That's all we're going to need to weld this thing up. And what that will allow me to do, well, if I can just get this a little closer to the welders, honestly, it'd probably just weld up fine. That's the thing. We could probably push it over a little bit to the welders. The one problem I'm having here is, well, let's see. Let's see if that's a problem. 9, 1, 2, and then where's my door? 3. We'll open this door up. Simulate a silo fire. Oh, we have an issue already. We have several issues trying to weld this thing up. I don't think I got everything inside of it. Let's find out. Did it work? No, it did not. Okay, so this is interesting. I do not know why that did not weld up like it's supposed to. Okay, so we're probably just going to have to make a regular silo area. Let's see, because I do want to silo this thing. Well, hold on. If it's coming into contact with this, there's another thing I could do instead. Let me go back to corridor blocks here. There should be wider passages. I think that'll work. Let's try this. And let's open that up like so. Okay, once that corridor block comes in, it completely nullifies anything else being done. Yep. What about the top here? Nothing really not being welded on the other side. Let's grab another welder for the other end and see how that works. There may be a trick to this. I'm just not seeing it. Let's turn this on. Now that should have. Yeah, did everything but the bottom part of the missile. Which tells me this is interfering a bit. Yeah, so that's all I've really got to do. That's dumb. Oh well. Not a whole lot I can really do about it. If that's the case, I wonder what a set of welders on this side to do, because it's actually kind of closer. If you notice here, it's kind of offset a little bit. And that's all I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to figure out what is going to work. Because if this be the case, this might be the one way to go. All right, that may weld up far better than the original idea. So let's land here and hit it again. Just there goes our missile. Now let's fire up. We're getting everything but this one little spot right here. So I'd say the problem is missile placement. The problem is where the missile's at. If I brought that down slightly, well, let me put it like this. If I bring it down, I think I can get away with the same system. I'm just going to have to bring the missile down slightly because it's in about the right placement. It's a good placement right now. Leps, hey yo, how you doing? Ij Postel, what's up, Badger? Oh, looks cool. I have a missile silo in my destroyer you can take inspiration from. It's something fancy. Oh, you'll love this. Check this out. So here, let me activate this, and we'll activate inertial dampeners and fire. Missile away. Missile turns. Locks in at just about a right angle, almost. And you can see our nice little target right over here. Or it was over there. Yeah, right over there. So I'm going to just back away from this a bit. Because in the next thing it's going to do, we're going to get in range of the target. And the missile's going to say, hello, we have found a problem. Doesn't seem to be activating that last back thruster. I don't know if the thrust override needs to be reconfigured or what. Oh, the guns are pissed off. Yeah, those little mini guns seem to be one of the best ways to fight these turrets. And it seems to be targeting just something right in here. I don't know what it's trying to target, but I haven't been able to like actually do a whole lot. Now it is hitting this thing. It's doing a good job. So, but the missile, you can see it's putting a hole in the frickin' ship, which is what I wanted to do. So I got a missile that works. I just can't weld this stuff up in a silo for some reason. It just won't do it. I don't know why. Um, for some reason, when I try to weld it up in a silo, this thing is just like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. Now, the other problem is with this is what happens when I turn it loose while we're flying. I'll also have to have all these connectors hooked up to the same system so I can hook in, recharge the system. Let's go ahead and have some fun here. And fire 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to lock onto this one. And why am I moving? Why am I moving? Okay. We're not too close to the other missiles, but for some reason it just would not accept me moving. Looking out there, I don't see the other missiles. So by the time we show up on the target zone, we should already be seeing missiles fly in. I'm not seeing anything flying into that area. But the best part about this weapon is you can fire it and it will just start turning into the target. You see right here, it's already figured out that there is a problem. It sees a thing and stuff's already shooting at it. Let me just launch right in here real fast. Oh, they're shooting at me now. Oh, wait, what's happening? Oh, we have a problem with the missile. Hang on. Something's happened here. Ah, thrust override. I forgot to disable the thrust override. Dang it. I knew there was a problem. There is always going to be a problem. Oh, so a cruise missile. Yes, we're going to have several cruise missiles on this. We basically turned the Mako into a cruise missile that we can fire at a distance. I've got all the settings for it, and I thought I needed an event controller, but it turns out no, we don't. Let me look into. Shoot. Okay. So when this sucker comes on, the thrust override is still active, apparently. Automation timer block. Let's look at setup actions. All that's done. Now, set override percentage back to 0. And now, oh, this is going to be fun. Blueprint that to ship and replace. You sure you want to place a blueprint? Yes. Because So we're going to reuse this here in a minute. Let's go ahead and reapply the missile here. Projector blueprints. And everything's exactly the way it's supposed to be. Why am I moving right now? I don't even know. Missile test, we are observing this stupid thing fly through the air right now. Now, okay, so we're at 93.87. So it seems to have disabled thrust override. Yeah, I can see the back thruster now engaging. It's like, okay, yeah, now we have full control. So now we have a missile that's going to go in there and do its job. Okay. Let's see what it does. Oh, it just hit. It just said, screw it. We are taking the target out. Well, it did its job that time. So it seems to be targeting something specific. It's targeting these engine systems. I don't know why. We had this issue with the last time with the Providence. It was just turning in there and targeting something specific. And that's not even the nearest large block. But we have a missile. We have a missile system that I can reliably install into a ship and launch it. I think if I tweak the movement or the position of the missile, I can probably get as much firepower as possible. I just got to see what the size of one of these silos is going to entail. And honestly, let me think here. Let me try something. I want to try something real quick. Let me delete both of these. We're going to do this. Now, let's see what that does. Nope. That ain't doing it. Nope. That ain't going to do it either. So it's going to have to be right in front. So here's an idea. We'll power this stuff on like before. But instead, like I said, I just got to dip this thing down just a little bit. So a half block underneath will enable me to do that. Here's what I'm thinking. Instead of a series of doors that I got to work around that'll fire, missiles, what I could do, where's our door block at? Hold on, folks. I'm trying something. Okay, that should come out of there just nicely. There it goes. And let's try building another one. Okay, that's interesting. But pull it down a bit. I think pulling it down is what's going to help. Go up here and make sure we got everything welded up. Everything but a couple of pieces. That's it. That's all it's not welding up. So it should work in theory. I think it's flying out of there like a freaking bat out of hell. Let's info. Let's turn off sensor field range so we don't have to see that. So here's the missiles. From the looks of things, we should be able to fire one at a time, which means the entire silo system is probably going to take. What's it going to take? It's going to take about. It's going to be about 4 blocks long. That's our missile system. Let's fly over here and see what we can install. We have, from the front here, see, I come back 3 or 4. We'll do 5 for the thruster system. We have 1, 2. What is it? Yeah, right there. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1 silo. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 silos. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 silos. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be 4 silos. So we have the ability to launch 4 missiles off of this thing at one time. If I rework that system and side by side that SOB and put the missiles firing in a singular direction, I could drop 8 missiles off of this thing at one time. Elijah Postel, that's a lot better. So what I did, I had a bottom mount connector and a merge block, so I just attached it straight to a rotor. Yeah. And mine, I don't think had any armor plating or design it. It was just the components. Well, one thing that I've noticed here is when we run into those interior turrets, that's the biggest threat. That's one of the bigger threats. These things. It's not the biggest, but it is one of the biggest threats. Doing that also, not realizing that I have a missile system that requires it. Now I could compress this thing down. I think a little bit. I may be able to compress this thing a little bit. It's going to take some kind of compression to compress it. I know the one thing will fire off. The question is, let's it's like right now, let's try this little number here. Like so. Just like this. Turn those both on. And we'll see what happens when I fire this off again, because we can always do this thing. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay. That is interesting. So the welder system is going to have to be almost pointing at it. Okay, that creates some nifty challenges right there build wise. But it's not a bad concept because what I can do is that means with the spine I can have each missile set up on either end. I can drop this down one block and I can weld the entire missile up no issue. Then we can have our one deal. So we're talking a 4 high platform. Let me explain this in blocks. We're talking a platform that requires at least 1, 2 for the welder. Maybe could get away with 3 if I'm cross attaching this system here. And then that would take me just slightly closer to the welders, but it wouldn't take it by much. The problem is we're already so close to the welders, it's almost ridiculous. It's almost borderline insane. However, this thing is pretty narrow on this side. The problem is if I can keep the system like this, I can just change the angle of the gyro override going in one direction. So it'll just kind of just zip off that way. And then it would make hooking all these up much easier. I wouldn't need an absolute crazy amount of ship missiles. I just need one projector, which would run all the ship missiles. So every time I would turn one of those off, it would automatically, I could just have to turn it back on. We would automatically build up all the missiles. That's another thing too, because you see that slight clang right there. That's going to be an issue piloting that thing. Actually, how close is that How close is that one deal? See, I may just be stuck with like multiple projectors. I may just not be able to get around it. Number 3. Let's tilt that forward. See what we're looking at here. So that may be the only way I'm going to get that in there. That means ooh. If I go from this angle here, which in comparison, we're going to need to drop down a bit, or I could just set a system in place here. Let's see. Let me. Ah, there we go. That would get a lot closer and probably maintain some stability, but the problem is I don't have that center point. This thing, just trying to figure out how to fire off these missiles and do something with them. So we have one, obviously. Let's try something here. We're going to increase the size of the platform. And Let's do that again. We go. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to group these together. What was it? Merge block? Okay, I think it's merge block 2. Yeah, merge block 2. Set that to fire. I will head over here to this. All right, G menu. I gotta figure out how to. Let's go here. Okay, there we go. Let's grab the groups. Let's grab this one called fire. Toggle block on and off. And now, all of them just said, "F it, we're taking off." Now we have something good going. Let's auto dampener there, and oh, they spread. That's cool. They're already in an attack spread. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's see how this works. So they're spreading out pretty wide, actually. They've all detected target. They're like, yep, we're going in. I should be somewhat faster than they are. I'll just zip right on up here. I'm going to turn around now, and the guns are trying to engage them. And now they're coming back full force. Hit it again. I don't know what they're targeting. They're targeting something specific. But while the ship is turning... Oh, what just happened here? Why'd y'all stop moving? Are they out of thrust already? Ooh. The Mako's out of thrust. Damn. I didn't realize that was going to be an issue. How much charge do these things have when they go in? That's what I want to know. They may only have like half charge. That may be what the problem is there. But we have a series of missile silos. We can launch several of them at a time. That's another thing. I'll end up having to charge these things up at some point. Let's do that. Where's this hydrogen tank? Hydrogen tank. Okay, small hydrogen tank. Yeah, that's what I thought. We've only got like a half fill on these things. So they're already real effective and have a good range regardless. Here we go, boys. I love how these things just spread out. They're like, yeah, we're gonna kick somebody's butt. First missiles are already in primary mode. Oh, wait. No. We've got another set. I haven't even beaten the first set of missiles. They're already fixing the impact. They're going to be at the target in 3, 2, 1. Oh, they hit something else that time. Now imagine this ship were moving. That's the thing these missiles seem to be doing. They're targeting something specific, but they're running on one singular unit. You can see right there, they all just ran out of thrust. Wait, one of them's got just enough to go right back into the combat zone. It got some speed going, but it just couldn't keep up. So the Makos can get to the target. What I'm trying to figure out is why they're targeting only that. They're targeting some type of engine. Is that the system doing that, or do I have that? Is it possible that the system might be set to that? Let me go check here a minute. Yeah, I could branch it off from either side, but I need to at least attach it to a secondary rotor. I'd need at least two. Elijah Postel brings up a really good one. Point here. He said, okay, that's if you'd use one rotor per missile, you can launch it off from the middle to either side. And yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up two rotors inside of the chassis area, and we'll just let the system rebuild it off of a projector block. Let me check these things here and see what they're targeting. Let's see what the target is on this. Let's see. Where's the all right, AF flight mode. Where's the target sensor? Where's that at? Target selection. What are we targeting here? Selected subgrids to be a threat. Okay, for some reason it's going after the propulsion system in there, which is kind of interesting. I'm gonna try and beat them to the launch site or to the target zone one more time. Really, if this were a combat scenario, these things would be going at high speed. I can already see one up above me. The first spread of them. The cool part about this is we can launch these things from a distance, and they'll just sit there and do like a loitering munition until they run low on hydrogen. Right now, they're trying to do a hard flip and burn. I don't know what they're targeting right there. Whatever it is, they're not hitting it. See, they're trying to flip and burn, and they're running out of juice right at the last second. They're going through this hole. I don't know what they're targeting, but I guess what I could do is I could set them to target propulsions or power. Power would be the best thing. See, right there, that one didn't really detonate. It just kind of landed on impact. Didn't have enough speed to really do anything. The missile works, but the problem is the targeting. It seems to be targeting. I don't know what it's targeting right here. it's going through this hole like it's trying to attack something in here, like it's detecting something. And it may be more efficient if I've got a moving target. Let's go ahead and delete this object. And let's put him back up. We'll lift him up a little bit here. And let me look here. We'll do some fancy stuff here with this. There. Now, before anything else can be done, let's take out some of these defensive systems here. So I'm not constantly having to fight the missiles. We can watch the missiles hit the ship from like a different angle, and we can judge the damage radius from that. That's going to be a whole different damage radius. We'll see if the missile doesn't target something completely different. Because this is one of the cool things about this missile. We can fire it from an extreme distance, and it can hit something very far out. Okay, let's get rid of this. Probably put a timer block on there to activate, or an event controller, turn it back on every time it detects it's been turned off. All right, I'm heading that way as fast as I can, try and beat the first batch of missiles before they detect that. Oh, wait, frick. I don't think I turned that ship into an enemy. Hmm. Those missiles are going to do jack crap. They're just going to fly on through space here. Let me see if I can turn this thing real quick into an enemy before the other ones reach us. Oh, wait, I've got an access panel here. Oh, come on. There's got to be an access panel here somewhere. There we are. Access. Turn on. Here. And here. Transfer to Space Pirates. Yes. I did that quick enough. Something should target it at some point. Unless they all got past it. See if I can re-access the system here. Yeah, just I thought. Oh, something came back. Something turned around and said F you. Where did that hit? They came back and smacked it. I just don't see any damage. It hit a nice cell or something. All right, we'll fire a few more missiles. Just a few more, and then we'll see what happens. I have to use one projector per missile. Not if I link all of the not if I link all the missiles connectors to the same grid. Then then it will probably just pull the same exact grid back up because once I turn them all back on, hey, there we go. We can just start firing them off again. Let's go over and see what happened because I think one of these things had a missile try to build. Yeah, right here. We need to. That's an issue we'll have to worry about. All right, let's power this bad boy up. All right, missile set one. Fire. Two. Three. And I'm off. First set, I can see the first set of missiles flying. I think I can overtake them. Yeah, we're going to overtake them pretty easily. And let's see what's going to happen. We may not overtake them, as it seems like they've already recognized the target and they're already heading for it. They are targeting that same hole again. What in the heck? Okay, what is over here? Whoa. I don't understand what's here that is so intriguing to those missiles. I guess I could set them to attack. We'll set the first grid up. We'll set the first grid up to attack power. And then the second grid, when it comes off, we'll go in and do it again. We'll see if that doesn't change something. Actually, I'll just set the first grid to, I'll just reset them to like power or some nonsense and see if that doesn't hit. Worst case scenario, I may put some type of, actually, that's a pretty good idea. I should put some type of control system in there that forces the system to change after launch. But I need to put an antenna on all that. That would be an interesting aspect, though. Okay. Why do I only have three? One of them's not welding up. Why? Oh, we've got this issue. Why did that happen? That's another issue right there. Okay. Now let's set this group to target something specific. Default setting, we will set this to power systems, all of those. We'll see how they attack. All right, I'm going to zip on in here real quick. I think I can beat those first missiles. We'll see if they hit something. I don't know. It may be worth it to put an antenna on it. If that be the case, then having a set of antennas on there and a broadcast controller so that when I fire, that's just overcomplicating everything. See what it does to them. For some reason, the AI is only targeting this section of the ship. I don't know why. Oh, missile's already in. Oh! 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 You know what? Power may be the way to go. That did some damage. What did we hit? That was not a hydrogen tank. We hit a reactor. So that may be the way to go, is have it target a ship's power system and just have it destroy it. Those first couple of rounds ripped right into the ship and tore into something. So we've already got 2 damages right there. We got 2 damage. It's actually pretty good. So with these missiles having a little bit more firepower at their disposal, you just saw right there, one of them just ripped in and hit something vital. And that's kind of what we need this thing to do. We need the missiles to hit vital spots on the ship, on the enemy. Having 8 of these things coming at you, targeting the same thing. The problem is I don't know why the default setting is targeting this section right here. It's the target system is going after something in this area, and I don't know why it's doing it. Let's check the other side here. I want to see. What's over here. It's like a decoy or something like that. It doesn't seem to be. That looks like it's mostly just spaced armor. Missiles may be targeting something specific. Let's throw a bunch of them at it. And then I'll come over here and look and see if they don't start targeting something different. Now, this is a whole different system considering we're firing at a stationary target. We're not firing at like a mobile target. Your missile could be targeting power systems. No, I just set those to power systems. What we saw right there was just a power system. It automatically targeted something else. The problem is it's not targeting a power system. It's set to default and it's targeting a block for some reason. And I don't know why. Why, I do not know. But I know what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and copy again. Because nothing quite says F you like a ton of these things. We're going to start scaling up, boys. Let me see here. Let's go over here. And merge. Block 2. We're going to set that to... Yeah, we're going to do that. Put that in block FU. I'm then going to... No. We're going to do this. Groups. Block FU. Toggle block on and off. Oh, geez, imagine that crap coming at you. Let's fly in here as fast as we can. Hopefully we can get there before the missiles do. And they'll be coming in a group, so hopefully they'll do something. The performance will be a little bit better. Here they come. All through that same damned hole. There's nothing there. Nothing. They're not hitting a single thing. Well, one hits something. I don't know what they're targeting. Because the system right here, there's nothing in that hole. They are going right through it. I guess I need to set that to a target a subsystem, like power. Let me reset this here. Grab this. X. Sit out. Let's put it back in. And we'll kind of install it. Okay. Power up another set of missiles, and we're going to fight this. This is getting kind of out of hand, by the way. All the missiles we're currently firing, because we've got missiles now floating through space that have not acquired a target or shot anything. And they've created a serious problem right now. Now that thing should be pointing at us. Ow. And now let's do this. Okay, they automatically go into like a spread. Let's follow them. There's our target right over there. They're eventually going to turn on it. Let's just zip right on up to it so we can see the missile impacts. Because this is just the fun part about making new weapons. You just get to shoot them a lot. Excuse me. Oh. Well, dadgummit. I did it again. I forgot to set this entire ship to an enemy vessel so it would target. Okay. That helps. Are they too far out? They might be. Yeah, we're not getting another missile to come in. Fire off the next set. Hopefully with all this garbage I got sitting around here, it may not screw with anything. But oh well. Let's see. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. I think the trickiest thing is going to be firing while moving. Yeah, that will be. Of course, I'm hoping as fast as they get out of the tube, that won't be too much of an issue. Ah, you stupid system. Why are you dragging me off this way? That's another issue. Having missiles hit each other. because once one of them hits the other one, it's going to knock missiles off. So we'll have to probably launch them one at a time. There's not going to be this fire everything. Missile inbound. It is that side. I don't know why they're doing that. They will only target that one side of the ship. Why is it targeting just that one side? There's nothing there. Why is the default system doing it? There's no. Okay, there is no. There are no decoys other than this, but it's not targeting the thrusters. It's just flying in there and just hitting the thing. I may have to set the missiles to fire at something specific. Which means if somebody is operating the system now, that means I will have to turn the system on. And if we want to target something specific, we'll have to send the missile in to target something specific. Let's reset this to target closest. See what that does. Yeah, you can hear them hitting each other. I'd probably have to fire them off one right after the other. There's the ship. Let's see if making them target the closest target has any real effect. They should only be targeting enemies, so maybe they'll target other systems, maybe they'll target the closest part of the ship. I don't know. Maybe that'll fix my target problem. Oh, here they come. And again, the same exact. What are y'all targeting? What are they hitting? They're just chipping away at armor. That's all they're doing. That's weird. There's not even a decoy block in there. So you already have a destroyer firing. If I can make it happen 8 Makos at one time, or they can put 8 Makos in the air in flight and at any given time. Plus, you're going to have several more missiles that can be fired from the F-302s from underneath the ship. So that's interesting. Okay, so it doesn't really matter what that's targeting. Let's go power systems. Now, while they're making an up and over pass, I should be able to beat them to the ship. We'll see what happens when they target like a power system. I'm off back to work. What just happened? Oh no. No. Why'd you do that? Come on. Jeez, okay. My computer kind of froze up. Elijah Postel just took off, so hey man, we'll see you. Don't worry, there'll be more of this. I'll have more stuff up. Let's see what the missiles are coming in. Oh, there we go. That was having them target more specific stuff seems to be the way to go. Specific target locking seems to be the way to do this. Instead of firing just. I think so. We're gonna have to modify the Mako so it will target, or we can go in and force it to target something specific as we fire them off. But that is a pretty good amount of impacts and damage. You're looking right here. That just took a massive chunk out of something. That is more damage holistically than you're going to get out of any other weapon in the system. And looking at it, and you can just keep firing them. The best part about those missiles is that as you're firing them, they are just not going to give a crap about what they're being fired at. You can launch them and they'll just go flying in there and they're just going to hit a target. I think I'm going to have to get off. I'm going to have to do some trash cleanup on the game because that military escort popped in and it kind of jacked with the system a little bit. Plus, we're firing off 8 individual missiles at one time. Let's go ahead. We can fire like one more round off just for fun. That may have just been a hiccup with the computer. But we will see. All right, here's the Excelsior's back. We're going to see what these missiles can do as they fly in to hit a target. Now, as you're firing these things in, they're also going to be getting targeted by other systems, but by defensive systems. However, the interesting part here they come. The interesting part of all this, oh, I didn't reset the targeting system on them. Something blew up there. Oh, now they're hitting different stuff. Oh, another one impacted. They are targeting this side of the ship for some reason, which doesn't make any sense. You can see right there, that's just a couple volleys off of a missile system. Now imagine you're firing this at like you're using these like a siege. Of course, I'd probably use some type of multi-fire siege missile to missiles. Oh, good lord, that's what I need to do. I need to build a multi-shot heavy missile that, when fired, drops like shoots off like a whole bunch of smaller missiles off of it that then surround and then just engage the target. Jeez, that'd be a nightmarish planetary defense system right there. Wonder how big I can make that without getting too jokingly huge. Oh well. But ladies and gentlemen, that'll be all for today. We've got the missile system figured out. We're just gonna have to do some planning now on the missile deployment. I think that's the first thing we need to work on as far as weapons are concerned, because we do need to figure out where the next unit is going to go. We need to figure out where strategic placement of the missiles so that we can start installing each one. And then we also need to figure out, once that's done, I've got to figure out other systems that we can employ, and we've also got to figure out where the docking clamp system is going to be for the F302s. And I think we might need to also add a platform. I think I'll flatten the area on the back and we'll add a docking zone so that the F302s can come in and just arm themselves. So the destroyer can have, and I think we're going to get at least a 3 unit wing of F302s on the destroyer. Let's go with the destroyer and we'll just look at that for a second. My phone's about dead, folks. So I'm reaching a point where I'm not gonna be able to see any of that stuff. Also, for those that are wondering, yes, the channel now has memberships. So if you guys want to see the next video before anyone else does, looking over pretty cool ships, got some really cool weapons on it. I'm thinking about building a custom weapon similar to one that is on the destroyer. They'll be kind of big, but it will be a ruthlessly destroying weapon system, and then we'll add some other stuff. So for the destroyer here that we are building, we're going to be able to mount these guns in place. But the other problem, okay, where'd you go? Where'd my F302 go? Hmm. Is the ship moving? Okay, there's the F302 back there. Yes, the destroyer's moving. Why is the destroyer moving? It should not be moving. Why are you moving? I've got forward thrusters stopping you. Are you moving? Let's just check here real quick. Auto dampeners. No, it's not moving now, but it was. So I think I can get at the very least 3 F302s on there. And what we're going to do is I'm going to create an angled plate on the side here so we can have a couple of guns firing off and some PDCs. And then that way we can have a protective shelf here for the F302s to fly up into. And I don't know, I may make this I may create a secondary cockpit down here. Oh yeah, my guy's like, let me take a look here. Oh yeah, we're having some issues because my guy's arm's like flipping out. But we'll be able to do that here. We'll have the primary bridge up here and a secondary launch bridge down here at the bottom. Now I'll try to make it look as cool as I can. But that'll be for the F302s to drop off the ship here. And so when we go into combat, the destroyer will be able to launch its own missile deployment system. And then it'll have a series of F302s, probably going to limit it to 3 F302s or just 2. That way we're not overwhelming the missile system. But I don't know. I may just beef up the missile system and see how many missiles we can fire off this thing at one time with the system in the place that it's at. So what we could do is we could just fire 8 freaking missiles, maybe more than that, and we'll be able to fire them one right after the other. So the F302s will be able to fly out and do scout missions with their own missile systems. The destroyer will be able to point itself into the direction of the enemy. We'll have to put a camera on here, but we'll be able to point ourselves in the direction of the enemy with a camera. Might even put a long range scout. Actually, that may be what I'll do. For the third section, I may put a long range scout ship, something 2-seater. And there's a system that I found, a script system that I found that will enable us to. I can basically fly a ship out there. It'll lock on, and I think it'll also acquire and set GPS coordinates for me of whatever we're looking at. So if we see an enemy ship, we can set the coordinates in about the general direction that they might be in, and then begin just lobbing missiles at them. Or the ship will just start lobbing missiles at a distance at the closest target. Just start chucking them out there, and they'll make a pretty good distance. Oh, there's a vulture out there. Hmm. He's 9 kilometers out. There's no way we can hit him. But yeah, we've got a whole lot of stuff working for the ship, and then we'll have this underslung hangar bay underneath the bottom, which players will be able to go and do. And then we'll have a section of the ship, probably in the back, where the F-302s can come in, kind of semi-land, rearm, and then they'll come back under the bay and lock back in. And then this thing will be able to. Oh shoot! Did I put a jump drive on this bad boy? Yeah, I did. I did put a jump drive on there. It's not a long range jump drive, but it's a jump drive. So we've got one good jump drive on this, which should be enough to get us from point A to point B. I think right up here is where I'll put the rearming system for the top. And then we'll have two F-302s on here and a scout ship with some target acquisition equipment. So yeah, that's the destroyer. And that it's working good because now we've got this whole big section figured out, and now we just got to plan it. We know how the missiles are going to go. We can compress that missile system down to where I can put 8 of them in the top of here. This thing is now in a position where, and I'll set a timer block for these things to turn them back on. So when I fire a missile, as soon as it launches off, after a couple seconds, the system will, or what I could do is I could just double tap like I've been doing, just double tap the missile and launch it. So we'll have 8 missiles, double tap and launch each missile out of there at a time, and out of each silo, and then the missiles will be coming out. We'll probably put some type of defensive system on the front, top, and bottom here so I can defend myself from stuff. Line the front section, probably have a couple of destroyers, a couple of the artillery cannons, maybe 2 artillery cannons and 2 assault cannons over here to fire with. Because it is a missile destroyer. It doesn't need a god awful amount of guns to defend itself with. It just needs missiles. That's it. It just needs missiles. We don't need anything else that's fancy. And then we can work around adding thrusters all around the ship so they can get from point A to point B. And then it'll just, hopefully, when this thing is done, it'll look really good. But I got some ideas on how to make it look really fancy. Anyway, folks, I am Badger Wild. If you guys are, like I said, we have things I've gotten up for the channel now. I have a membership program. So if you guys want to, I finally got to a point where I could do memberships. So if you guys want to jump in there and do memberships, that's totally cool. It's not required for anyone to do memberships. I don't want people to feel like they have to do it, but you do get access to any video I put up before it gets put up. And I'll probably have another video, if not 2 of them, up before the weekend is out. But they won't come out, but each one's going to come out on the week that they're out. So I've got one more week. I've got a video plan for next week already scheduled. So if you guys want to watch that, that's a review of a destroyer that has been done by someone who's been checking the channel out. Has a really just, oh man, that one has an exceptional engine room. That's just amazing. And then I'm trying to get a few more things out there. I'm trying to see what other tips I can come up with. If y'all have some tips and you want to see them put up on the channel, just hit me up in the Discord and tell me about them. I'll put them up there. Like I said, membership is 99 cents a month. It's not, I didn't sit there. I was like, I'm not going to be greedy about this crap because, dear Lord, it's already problems. And yeah, if you don't feel like doing that, it's perfectly fine. Just watch the video, like, comment, subscribe if you're new. That helps just as much as a membership would ever help. The membership is just there for people who If y'all want to get something early, you can. And at the same time, y'all basically buy me a soda. That's it. You're just helping the channel keep going. A Dr. Pepper keeps this channel going. A Dr. Pepper a day keeps me awake enough that I can get this channel going. And I have a project I've been working on with my kid, and I'm gonna probably ask y'all's opinion of it here pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that vote when it comes up. And I'm a little nervous about it. I'm gonna say this right now. I'm a little nervous because what I'm doing, um, it is something that the community has been asking for, and I've kind of figured out how to do it just in my spare time. And it's kind of been playing on me. I'm like, we're getting closer to this. We've got a lot of the systems figured out. We've got a lot of the methodology. Um, there are just some other things that are going to be coming in soon that's going to make that more possible. And if possible, I'm going to have a product to put up on Amazon that you guys can buy. And I'm hoping I can keep the pricing down to a pretty decent price, kind of somewhere like $20. That's what this thing is going to cost. But when you buy this thing, you're going to get everything you need to work it with. It's kind of an old school thing. But I'm not going to tell y'all what it is until I put it out there. It seems to work really good, and me and the kid have been coming up with ideas on this, making it all work. So you guys will probably get that pretty soon, and I don't know how y'all are going to respond to that. I'm a little nervous about it because it is something that the entire community has asked for. I have seen people on Aaron's videos ask for it. People have been asking for it on everybody's channels, and I think that I've seen this enough, and I'm at the point where I'm like, people have asked about it. They've asked me if something like this could happen, and I'm finally at the point where I'm like, it's a cool idea, and somebody needs to try and do it. And I'm now at the point of just being Thanos, grabbing the Infinity Gauntlet and saying, "Fine, I'll just do it myself. We're going to snap this into position." So pray for me on that this thing works out because I got to go through a couple more, we'll say some small stuff that goes with it. But otherwise, yeah, that's about the end of the live stream tonight. Hoping I can get more of these done so you guys can watch more when we get this ship done, possibly move on to something else and do some stuff. I like doing this, but as I work on this ship, I will lay down tonight and I'll go, oh, I should build this. Oh, I should build that. I should build this. I kind of want to build a tank next. I kind of want to build some type of tank because I figured out the skid steer system, which that'll be a video I put up soon because I've got a skid steer system we'll put up, and that will or the whips. I know how to do the whip skid steer system, and we'll throw that up there, and that will on the channel, and you guys will be able to check that out and use it. But anyway, yeah, that's about it for tonight. Thank you all for watching. Like I said, just pray for me on this little project that I'm working on. It's I don't expect it to get big. Okay, that's what I'm telling y'all. I don't expect it to get big. I It's a fun little thing. Me and my kid have messed around with it. She loves it. And if I can get her to liking it, then it's got some pretty good potential. But I'm not sitting here looking at this because when I announce this, some of y'all are going to be sitting there thinking, "Oh, what are you trying to do, Badger? Become the next such and such company out there?" And it's like, no, we're going to release this thing just very as simplistically to the product as possible. And if you guys, but there will be an option for you guys to complicate it a little bit if you want to put it like that. By the way, folks, I'm done rambling. I'm done rambling. I'll see you guys in the next video. And as always, stay safe, stay frosty. And if you want to check out the membership, it's just 99 cents, like I said, and it helps out the channel and it helps me do more of this stuff because, like I said, having that extra bit of money really does help. I have mentioned this before. I'm gonna thank y'all again. Channel ended up in an issue and just happened to monetize. I'm not talking about my thing. I'm kind of gloating on y'all for a minute, okay? So new people that are in here understand I kind of gloat on the I kind of glaze y'all's hole, as some people like to say. So Ended up in a situation a while back where the computer went down. This is for all the new players. Computer went down. I realized that I'm going to have to find a way to maintain the channel losing, without it having to come out of my pocket, because it was like really, because I thought my computer had crashed and given up. It is an old gaming PC that I bought secondhand. And I was like, oh no, this thing has finally crapped the bucket. And so monetized the channel. As soon as the first check from YouTube come in, I didn't have that check for about a week. And my headset one day, I just picked it up, put it onto my head. The thing snapped in half, and I heard a fizzle inside of it. And I could smell burning electrical wires. And I'm like, oh no. And I'm sitting there for like a day just doing like this because I was so distraught of that. I forgot that I had gotten a Google AdSense paycheck. Completely forgot about it. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, where am I going to get this? Because it's like it's $100, and it just so happens it was right after bill time. And it wasn't that I couldn't normally afford this. It was the fact of you have it at that point, and I'm sitting there thinking, crap, the last time I had an issue with the computer, the channel was down for like a week to 2 weeks. So I'm sitting there looking at it. It is Saturday, right after all the bills are paid. I've got money that I need to buy groceries and everything with. I can't spend this money on anything else. And I'm sitting there, just got my head in my hands for a bit. And my wife walks in. She goes, "What's your problem?" I go, "I just broke my headset, and now the entire channel is going to be down. No live streaming for an entire week." Because I was doing some heavy live streaming at the time. I said, I need to find, I'm trying to figure out a way that I can somehow get a cheap headset to work with. And she goes, "Didn't you get paid by Google?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I did." And so I sit there, it's like, duh, I'm an idiot. And so then went in there, and you guys actually saved the channel by just watching on YouTube. You guys like saved the channel because there was, like I said, that happened, and I was like, oh no, 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 we're not gonna be able to get it. Now we got a new headset. Like almost immediately. It was like $100 Stealth 600, I think it was, Turtle Beach, and just went right out and bought that and was right back in. Popped the dongle into the PC, right back up and running. Y'all, and honestly, if you look back through, it was around October when that happened. If y'all look through the deal, you'll notice there was not a single dip in the system. So y'all are keeping the channel going. You got to realize this about YouTubers. When content creators say you guys keep the channels going, that viewership, that AdSense money, it goes into like it keeps certain things going. You don't know unless a content creator tells y'all what's going on. You don't know what you guys are replacing. You don't know what's breaking down. You don't know if that what you guys are maintaining on the channel just by watching and commenting and liking videos. Okay. And I want to say I appreciate y'all for that, because that has been the biggest blessing. I've had a really cool audience. Um, some people end up with a bunch of assholes, and I haven't had that yet. I mean, we're not, well, I'll say it like this. You're my kind of assholes. We'll put it like that. That's the old, so I gotta do something cool with Die Hard 2, because that was such a horrible movie. We've got to be able to make something good out of it. So yeah, the old line of "I am an asshole, I'm just your kind of asshole." This just There we go. That's how it works. So yeah, thank you all for watching the channel. Again, I thank you guys for doing that. Y'all could go anywhere else. You really could. You don't have to stay here and watch me struggle and stumble around out here like a toddler on the internet. But you guys decide, hey, you know what, you're gonna come watch Badger stuff, and I really appreciate that. Uh, like I said, y'all could go anywhere right now. You decide to come here, and I try to make this as good as possible. I'm trying to come up with some other stuff that could be more bingeable, watchable. Right now, we got a lot of really long form content, and I'm trying to figure out something that I can do that would be a little not as long form. But like I said, the project I've got working on is more of the community has kind of been asking for something like this, and I'm just of the mindset of I'm just going to try and provide this because why the frick not? No one else seems to be doing it. I've not heard of anyone else doing this. and y'all gonna be finding out about it pretty soon. So thank you all again for watching. Thank you all for being here. You could go anywhere else, like I said. You decided to come here. And as always, I am Badger Wild, saying stay safe, stay frosty, and I'll see you guys in the next video.